The second worst thing, failure, is the author thinks that handling job cuts. The article states, why did GM have to fire employees by email or announce the termination of Cruise to its employees through Slack? Surely meeting 1,000 employees one at a time can't be done elegantly. Still, receiving a Friday morning 5 a.m. email being told not to come into work because you're fired can't be the best way to execute job cuts for people. It's no good way to get fired. And now I'm talking as a person who has been laid off. Is no best way to fire people. Do it over text message. And if you think just I'm a corporate shill for saying that, listen to this proposal. That is also the best way to quit a job.
Mhm.
You get fired by email or text message, you can also quit by text message. Just let it not be awkward. This is not, Japan, where we have a work culture where, in Japan, if you try to quit, some jobs will, like, they make you write a letter and apologize to your coworkers, and
Mhm.
sometimes they get mad and they try to call your new job so that they could fire you and make you come back to work. Like, no, this is America. When it's over, it's over.
Mhm.
Email, text message, both way. Like, look, I'm not coming in. Thank you for letting me work there. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not coming back anymore. And that's it. Done.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dane? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. We're going to talk about GM. We're going to talk about their best accomplishments of 2024 and also their worst accomplishments. These are two articles we got from GM Authority, and we're going to give our opinions on them. Dane, what do you want to do first, the best or the worst?
Let's do the worst.
Let's do worst first. All
Let's
right, let
finish
me
on a
go
high
to,
note.
let's go to the GM's biggest failures of 2024. This is an article by George Barta in GM Authority, and we're going to talk about what he said and give our own opinions. Number one, worst thing that GM did is they think pulling the plug on the Cruise self-driving subsidiary. He says it was ultimately the right move, but it's still a little sad. This is weird because this is on the list of the best and his list of the worst. I don't know how it's on both lists, but
So he's on the fence. It sounds like he understands why they did it, but like wishes that they would have put more time and money into it than maybe.
yeah, that's what he thinks apparently. So the article states all of that research data and development for what? One could argue that General Motors threw the baby out with the bathwater by ceasing Cruise's funding rather than reforming it. The next generation of Super Cruise better be amazing. Oh, he's a little upset about that. Dane, what do you think? Do you think it's the right move to pull the plug on the Cruise self-driving subsidiary?
Yeah, there is a ton of liability in releasing these systems. And it might not be the CEO of General Motors saying, hey, we're pulling this. I don't like it. It might be the lawyers being like, it's not safe enough, or we need to make sure we have all these requirements and all this extra testing and whatnot. There's probably a ton of red tape that we're just not that aware of, on the outside of what could be holding this thing back.
Totally.
Obviously, they want to release the best product possible and the safest product possible. So if it's not ready to release and it's that high of a liability, do not release it. It kind of
I,
seems cut and dry.
I totally agree, Dane. I am totally for letting somebody else start out with this because we don't know how these problems, if there is a problem, how is going to be litigated.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a mistake, like who do you sue? Like, do you sue the car company or do you sue the person for not paying attention as much?
Mm-hmm.
Let somebody else figure all that out because people want to sue GM all the time. They want to sue Toyota. They want to sue everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Let this stuff get worked out first. I don't think that is necessarily a problem that GM couldn't figure out this technology. It's it's the lawyers, like you're saying. It's too much unknown potential liability.
Yep. And there's, being first to market, which they're not, but being early in the market isn't always the best thing. It can give you a head start if the customers demand it and want to go that way. but customers might not want this technology in these new cars, and they might not buy cars because of that too. So waiting
Mhm.
is also another financial strategy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally with that. And one other thing, even if you get this technology right, people don't they don't always look at everything from a whole perspective. Like this technology, self-driving cars, people they don't know how to act. If you put this car where I grew up in West Philly, it is going to be a nightmare.
Yep.
Trust me, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to people these self-driving cars are going to have to do like cabs and pizza deliveries used to do, and they just
Yep.
don't come to certain neighborhoods because they're going to get robbed. They're going to get their stuff taken. They're people will probably start using these self-driving cars to do nefarious actions. This is going to be nothing but shenanigans with this thing. So I don't mind that they have pulled the plug on this. I think that this is a win for GM. So
Yeah, possibly.
all right.
So, are you familiar with the Waymos?
Yeah.
I've not seen one ever until I was in Phoenix between Christmas and New Year's. They're everywhere there, everywhere.
Yeah. In Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, and they freaked me out the first few times I seen them. But I'd see a dozen, 2 dozen of them a day easily. They're all over the place, and they're just cruising up and down streets with people in them, without people in them. They got those little radar things that are always spinning on the outsides.
Mm-hmm.
But one night we went out, kind of near downtown Tempe, where University of Phoenix is, with a couple of friends, and we were having a few cocktails and whatnot.
Right.
And as we were calling like an Uber and waiting on a real person to come get us and take us back where we were staying, there was those Waymos you could have picked up, and I passed because they just freaked me out. I don't want to be inside of something that a person's not driving.
Yeah.
But then like people were coming by in these Waymos, and they got no responsibilities. They're hanging out the windows all drunk. Hey,
Yeah.
doing all kinds of crazy stuff in these cars, and they're just driving down the road. I'm like, man, it just seems weird.
Yeah. All right. So that is the second problem this person thought. The second worst thing, failure, is the author thinks that handling job cuts. The article states, why did GM have to fire employees by email or announce the termination of crews to its employees through Slack? Surely meeting 1,000 employees one at a time can't be done elegantly. Still receiving a Friday morning 5 a.m. email being told not to come into work because you're fired can't be the best way to execute job cuts. The automaker tried to save face with the hashtag I work for GM on social media, but from what still receiving a Friday morning 5 a.m. email being told not to come into work because you're fired can't be the best way to execute job cuts. The automaker tried to save face with the hashtag I work for GM on social media, but from what we've seen, it looks like only executives use it. All right, let me go on this one first thing.
All right, go ahead.
I've been thinking about this whole situation, getting fired from email, and you know what I've determined it is the right thing to do for people. It's no good way to get fired. And now I'm talking as a person who has been laid off from Cummins. It was an economic downturn. It wasn't my fault, but same with Honda. When I worked at the dealership at Honda, is no best way to fire people. It's going to be no nice way you could do it. I mean, what are you going to you can't give somebody a pizza party and carry them out on a couch. It's over, bro. It's freaking over. Just and I'd rather get fired by email or text message, because you know what? Then I don't have to like walk past all my former employees and feel like a loser because they're working and I'm going home and never coming back. Like, no, do it over text message. And if you think just I'm a corporate shill for saying that, listen to this proposal. That is also the best way to quit a job.
Mhm.
You get fired by email or text message, you can also quit by text message. Just let it not be awkward. This is not, Japan, where we have a work culture where, in Japan, if you try to quit, some jobs will like they make you write a letter and apologize to your coworkers, and
Mhm.
sometimes they get mad and they try to call your new job so that they could fire you and make you come back to work. Like, no, this is America. when it's over, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Email, text message, both way. Like, look, I'm not coming in. Thank you for letting me work there. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not coming back anymore. And that's it. Done.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dane?
I'm with you for the most part. I've not been fired, unfortunately, but I couldn't imagine a good way to have it done. I haven't had to fire anybody either. It sounds terrible. It sounds like it sucks. But a lot of these people that got the email are also, desk job people. A lot of them probably work from home. You want to work from home? You can get fired at home.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to say, "Hey, come into the office," just to fire you and then send you back home again. So,
Yeah.
like, it just seems like in a very efficient way. It might seem cold and heartless, but guess what? Corporations are.
They don't have hearts. They're not people. I keep
No.
telling people corporations are not people. They can't care about you.
Yeah, they run by committee, and their major number one, concern on a day-to-day basis is shareholder value. So if cutting employees means keeping shareholder value high, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. So let's go on to the next one.
We don't have to like it, but it's every time there's an economic downturn, every time a company sees a hit in sales, you see cost cutting, and is cost cutting. It's every single time. You shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's just move on with our lives.
Yep.
Number 3 mistake: no Android or Apple CarPlay in EV models. Yeah, I agree with the author on this one. I think I don't know why, but
yeah, what the heck?
people love Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. They don't want anything else. These are the icons that they recognize, and they just want them. They don't want to learn anything. So yeah, I agree. I think they got to figure out a way to put those in.
Yeah, there's not much to say here. Everybody loves those two platforms. It's just like connects instantly to your phone. It's got all your music on it, contacts, hands-free talk and all that stuff. Why wouldn't you have it? That doesn't make any damn sense.
I don't know. We don't know why they made this decision, but that's what they're going with for now. And we'll see if the people keep demanding it. Eventually, I think they'll put it in there.
Yeah.
Number 4, new models not ready for prime time. They're saying that the launch of the Chevy Blazer EV was plagued with software issues and poor phone quality, defective door strikers, bad serial data gateway modules. All right, so a few electrical gremlins in the first Chevy Blazer EV and Equinox EV. I think they got to get a handle on this. As long as it's not as bad as that Fisker problem. Like, you can't just have it keep driving and never fix the stuff. So
Right.
I think they'll get a handle on it. What do you think?
Yeah, they'll get a handle on it. I mean, it sucks when right away you have this many issues, but they're kind of minimal. Like if your phone quality is poor, well, you can just click the button and talk on your actual phone instead of through the, wireless or hands-free, setup. But
Yeah.
not the end of the world. The door strikers and the wipers being stuck is probably the things that would bother me the most. But they'll get it figured out. It'll be recalled. They'll take care of you. They always do.
They'll figure it out. All right. Number 5, discontinuing the Chevy Malibu. They're saying that let's see, easy to say that Chevy Malibu was killed off because nobody wants sedans anymore, but is that really true? The two cars in that segment, the Toyota Camry and Accord, there's still more of a market for non-luxury sedans. I think I partially agree with this one, Dane. I think that you can't just come out with the Malibu the way it was, because it doesn't compete good enough with and really I think the Malibu is more in a class with is closer to the Civic and the Corolla. I think the Impala was the one that was closer to the Camry. And
It's about the same size as the Impala. The Impala and the Malibu are about the same size.
Impala's a little bigger. I mean, that's like
a little bit. But
I'm just saying who it competes with.
Yeah.
If GM is not going to bring over their hybrid technology that they're using in China, them coming out with a naturally aspirated Malibu does not compete with the hybrid Civic or the hybrid Accord, whoever you think it's competing with. So, and I'm thinking maybe they don't want to bring over the hybrid technology now. Maybe it's because they don't want to cannibalize sales from their EVs. I don't know. What do you think, Dane?
Well, I think they're making the move to doing more hybrids. I think we'll see that here in the near future. But as far as discontinuing the Malibu goes, I mean, makes sense to me. They're not selling a ton of them. If it's costing them money, if it's not making them money, at least as much as they need to be making, then dump it.
Yeah.
The way I see it in the sedan market, there's two players. There's Honda and there's Toyota. If you're not
Yeah.
one of those two, you're playing for last place.
Yeah. Well, they got the best hybrid technology that's out right now. I'm hoping, like I said, that GM will bring their hybrid stuff over, but we'll have to wait and see. It's no point in keep doing it if it's not competing,
Yep.
like you said,
Yeah.
Dane.
Yep.
So,
The Japanese, they're killing it in the mid-size market, and even the compact market too. It's really the big three in the United States here have not made it a major focus to compete in that place, and so pulling the plug on those platforms doesn't surprise me at all. They're just not big money makers. Where
yeah,
the big three are making money is trucks and SUVs.
that's right. All right. So that is the missteps or worst failures opinions. Now let's go to the good news. Let's go to GM's biggest accomplishments in 2024.